So today what we're going to do is kind of the follow-up video to my ground force reaction video the other day. A little cooler and not as sunny as I was hoping it was going to be today for this. But hopefully I can knock out just a couple of simple drills for you guys to think about and clear up some concepts in your mind of what's going on here. So first of all, let's start out with golf is a motion, and like all sports in a motion, there are no starts and stops really other than when we're at address and then maybe when we're at our finish. But other than that, we're always moving. So much like, a pitcher in baseball or, throwing a football, there is no top, there is no bottom, there is no stops, right? So as teachers, I think oftentimes, myself included, we'll teach them, on your backswing you do this, on your forward swing you do these things. But at the end of the day, there really is, when you study the best players in the world and you look at what they're doing, they're always moving. So keep that in mind as we're doing some of these drills, and some of these drills are to enhance that feeling that you are never kind of static. There is no top of your backswing. Really what's happening is as you get to the top of your backswing, you're actually already starting to move target side and recenter yourself. So kind of like the simplest drill that I like, and it was in Ben Hogan's book years ago, is really just a side-on medicine ball throw. So I'm going to take the medicine ball, I'm going to take the foot pressure board here, the down under board, to kind of show this. And what I like, remember, these are going to be my preferences. If you go study the best players in history, you see a lot of different stuff. So take this for what it is. And some of this, and I'm going to encourage that in some of these drills, is learning what feels strong and balanced to you, because everyone might be a little bit different. So I would encourage everybody, go out and get like a pretty lightweight medicine ball, 4 to 6 pounds. Don't get any heavier than that. You want enough weight, it forces you to do it correct, and you want it light enough you have some mobility. And then what I like to see is this inward squeeze, right? So kind of what we're trying to create is this efficient, tight circle and how our pressure is moving in our feet that mimics what the club's doing a little bit, especially from waist high on the downswing to waist high on the through swing before it comes up, because that's going to help speed up and stabilize the club. So just grab a medicine ball, and the one thing that I see with all the best ball strikers to me is an initial kind of trigger. Nobody really starts from a static position. You've had Gary Player kicked his knee, Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus swiveled their head, Gene Littler lifted his heel and replanted it, Sam Snead kind of did something similar. So the idea is, remember, it's a motion, so you don't want to get too static over the ball, you always want to be moving. Okay, so you take the medicine ball, some of it's going to be intuitive. I rarely see, I can get a little kid to look like a tour pro moving as if you throw forward. Remember, we're not producing energy towards the ball, because speed really is beyond the ball. And that's why this is a great drill, because it puts your intention beyond the ball and out to the target, which is where we're actually going. So put a light squeeze on the board, take the ball. The first thing is you get this nice little soft initial shift where you start to shift pressure over in your trail leg, right? So you shift some pressure over there, and then you put the ball up over your shoulder. Now, I feel, a lot of people would describe it as weight, I feel pressure in this foot and tension in all my muscles in my trail leg. And then once you get there, as you get to the top, what we really start to do is you start to recenter on the board. So you'll see this gradual shift right. As everyone gets to the top, they recenter themselves. Now you have pressure down both feet to turn and twist and use against the ground. So you can throw some too for today, so I don't have to go run and get the ball. I'm just gonna make some swings and just swing it up to the top, push the ground, go over to a balanced finish. And then try to blend that with some motion where there is no stop. So you can stage it a little bit to feel it, slow it down, and then try to free it up and be more athletic as you move between your 2 feet. While I'm doing that, and why I love this pressure board, is it's the feeling of squeezing in and down. And what that is doing is it's keeping us on that tight circle, just like when the ice skater pulls their arms in, it tends to speed up and be more efficient. And my knees, I like them to work towards one another. Okay, and you're going to see that in some of my other drills here today. So that would be one drill, lightweight medicine ball. Okay. You could also use a stick and put it across your shoulders for some reference. Right? A little light shift, rotate, recenter, extend out of the ground, finish tall. And I like to get your spine to feel really that it doesn't have a lot of side bend in it, that it's really tall. Right? So, I'm not saying there's no side bend. What I'm saying is I like this feeling of a little shift, rotate, recenter, a little shift, rotate, and that you're moving between your 2 feet. So this is another drill you can do to kind of get a sense of that. Now, to me, I think this is going to be the most important thing, which is I like you guys to feel like you're moving with the momentum of a stick or a club. So the next drill is going to be to kind of enhance that in your feet. And just like a speed skater, when they go side to side, I want you to kind of feel that as you're swinging a stick. You could also use a club to do this. And so as you get to the top, you kind of let your front foot float off the ground, you smash it in the ground, then you let your back foot float. And so you kind of just walk between your 2 feet. What that's teaching is your body to balance itself over your trail leg, over your front leg, while it shifts pressure back and forth and you rotate. Now remember, we're moving in all 3 dimensions when we're doing these things. What you really want to get into is more what you're doing than how you do it. You want to let your body kind of sense what is correct. And so when you load up over here, I like to just tell you guys, feel strong. Feel you could create energy going in the other direction. That feels strong to me. Somebody else might be more center loaded, somebody else might have a little bit more shift to the right, and I really don't think there's a right or a wrong here. I mean, I have my preferences on what I see in my favorite swings. Ben Hogan, one of my favorite swings, kind of center loaded and created some space here. Tiger Woods, Annika Sorenstam, especially when Tiger was young, had a pretty big lateral shift to the right. The idea is no one was trying to stay still, and they were just trying to produce force over there. So you got this step drill, just like the speed skater. You walk between your 2 feet, and that's going to teach you how to shift pressure. One more. Put your feet together. Now remember, as we get to the top, there is no top. And so what you'll see in the best swings is as they get to the top and they're about to finish, they have this motion where as this is still going back, they're starting to shift laterally towards the target and recenter themselves. Shift pressure forward. So you can do this drill where you set up, as you get to the top, you step, press left, turn and swing. So that really starts to synchronize the club in this shift, whereas this is going backwards, this is going forwards, and that offsetting force of loading, now you have pressure on the ground to turn and twist against, okay? So those are some of my favorite drills for pressure shift, back and forth. Okay? Now, some people, you know, this was a drill I did a lot as a kid. Now, this doesn't feel strong or powerful, but what it does for some people is starts to train balance, right? Smooths things out, gets people who maybe move a little bit too much to stay a little bit more centered and kind of move a little bit more efficiently. So, you know, you can go out and you can hit some balls, maybe just spread your feet a couple inches apart, up there, over there. You're not going to use your legs and your feet as much. Now for power and speed, I don't really like that. I like more of this side to help that club accelerate as it's moving. But sometimes some people get too much going on, you know, they're lifting up out of their posture a lot and stuff like that. So I'll occasionally use a foot together drill or a staggered left foot right toe drill to help people understand a few of these other things as far as like keeping it simple and training some balance and simplicity. Why I like the board is when we're squeezing the board in and down, it also helps early extension. So if you have the board and you're squeezing it like this, your foot will not work this way. Lose the pressure on the board. So when people come down, they'll squeeze in against the board. And like I said, my favorite swings, I see their knees more working in and down. I don't mind someone's heel coming off the ground, but I don't like it in this really vertical plane. I like it to more shift in and over. And you see that in Hogan and Jack Nicklaus and Greg Norman and some of my favorite swings that did allow their heel to come off the ground. That it didn't go really, their feet don't work this way. They work more into the side and into the side. And this is why you saw a lot with the older players. Just like the speed skater, they were going so hard this way that they'd actually have this trail foot would drag in and down with those heavy metal spikes we used to play with. So don't overcomplicate these things. Take some of these drills. Trust your athletic intuition as you move between your 2 feet. Let your feet move. When you swing, I don't care if people's feet really come a little bit off the ground or if you get a little heel lift on both sides or whatever, certainly on your trail foot you're going to. It's more just this feeling of how you're efficiently moving pressure back and forth. And to me, if you want to produce energy and force forward, you can't stay still. So if you guys have any questions, shoot me a text or a DM, and I hope those drills help.